Oh, unbelievable.
Nobody saw that coming except for us.
Every member of the goddamn Action Army. What a ridiculous challenge and an unbelievable turn of events. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God. I'm so hyped. I am so freaking hyped. Look, man, you came and you thought you could kick a dog when he was down on that main stage, and guess what happened?
Every dog has their fucking day. Every dog.
This dog had his day.
Yeah. Ate all the dog food in the world.
I ate so many dog biscuits right in front of your face. Look, man. Look, it was a well-fought match. You tried your best. I just know many more questions about movies than you. That's all.
Okay, so here's what I want to know. And guys, you've seen us do this gimmick before. We're going to talk about this for real.
I'm not.
I want to know what happened when they asked that last question. And you saw the look on his face. And you knew in your fucking loins that he didn't know the answer. That's the moment I want to know about. It's the second that you realized you actually were going to slay a dinosaur.
I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And you know how it is. You know, no matter what happens in round 1, round 2, anything can happen in round 3. There's 10 points to be had, and he hits his 2-pointer, hits his 3-pointer, no problem. And that 5-pointer comes along, and I'm still feeling like safe enough, but when I see it on his face, it just like, it's like when Wesley Snipes walks out at the end of U.S. Marshals.
Righteous. Okay, so I want to know about that, but because guys, so we'll set the table real quick. So I was in Vegas for a Magic the Gathering tournament.
Super sweet.
Yeah, because I played that Magic the Gathering. And I was really bummed because there was an appearance I had to show up and do, and I didn't get to be there for the taping of this match.
Yeah, which I feel like we both didn't even realize until like maybe 5 days beforehand. We were both like, oh shit, I'm not going to be there. Yeah.
So leading up to the match, I mean, how many people would you say, could you count on one hand the number of people you really thought believed in you, that you could win, that you could beat Merle? How many people do you think?
I mean, I honestly don't even think you and I truly believed I could beat Merle.
I'm going to be fully real. I did not believe you could beat Merle.
I think I was like the only one. Yeah. I really think I was the only one. And I think it was because like, it felt like if anything, like if any crazy thing could happen, this was the moment for it to happen. I know enough about movies.
I got a text from me that morning at 7 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill the bear. Because there's a reference to The Edge.
I'm going to kill the bear.
I'm going to kill the motherfucker. It's one of our favorite movies. So
didn't you text me back what one man can do, another man can do?
Probably.
Yeah. Which is just wonderful because he has been beaten, even if it only had been 2 times.
Yeah, right. So this was a crazy match. The confluence of events that had to happen for this match to get to where it got to was really, I mean, laying the table for people to really understand this.
This was months in the making.
Team Action's played, I think 10 matches or 11 matches now. We're 6-4 now.
Something like that, yeah. Maybe 6-4, 6-5, 10 or 11 matches, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, the whole kind of confluence of events that had to happen for us to get to this point was Christian sort of saw the opportunity to get Merle back.
Yeah.
And so he sees obviously the opportunity with, if we lose the Shirewolves, and we've said it before, I think he had pretty clear designs on us losing.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not to say that he did anything to make us lose. But
right. I think that he had. I mean, if he was a betting man, he'd set things up in that way.
I mean, just from straight up trivia talent perspective, Clark and Rachel are 2 of the 10 best players in the whole league.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're a team together, and I'm not. You know, and like you might be, but I'm not. You know,
maybe fringe if I'm lucky.
Yeah. So yeah, the things transpire with the Shirewolves, us losing, me coming out and losing my shit, which, you know, us actually losing in the manner that we did to the Shirewolves helped fuel the fire that was...
Which is one of the great promos the Schmoedown's ever had.
Thank you, man.
I mean, I remember, honestly, I was in the Merle getup.
Yeah.
So I was kind of backstage watching you do it, and I was kind of, truthfully, like one of those out-of-body experiences where there's so many emotions. We had just lost. And in the way we had lost, and the way that I had punted our loss like that, I was dressed as Merle, and I was sort of watching you do your thing, this incredible promo. And then I come out and I do my bit for a second. You know, it's the big moment. It's a full theater.
Yeah.
And then Merle comes out, and you just sell the shit out. I mean, you sell the shit out of that moment.
Yeah, man. I mean, that...
And right after the loss, too, to be able to kick in like that and just do it.
I mean, yeah, it was tough. You know me. You know me really well, and it was real tough to sit there and have to humble myself and be like, you know what? There's bigger things in play than like how Andrew Guy feels about Team Action losing that match. And so Merle comes out and he does a great job. He knocks it out of the park. He does his thing. The crowd, it's the crowd, man. I mean, that's truly really what it comes down to with everything. It's the crowd and it's the fans. You realize how much they love what we do and love the show that we put on. And I could feel the love on stage after we lost, and I could feel the love online after we lost on the Schmoedown page. That is just, it's like, I hate losing, but we got to sell the shit out of this. We got a bigger thing coming, and this is Dan Merle. I'm a fanboy, for God's sakes.
In the monitor here, I can see there's been this white edge, and I'm cut off here.
Oh, should we move?
No, I'm going to turn the camera slightly.
Oh, are we?
That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, okay.
At what moment did the rage, humiliation, disappointment subside, and you get the killer instinct of, I'm going to kill the fucking bear? When did it, like, how long did it take?
Man, I don't know. You know me after losses. I get
brutal.
pretty despondent. I like completely despondent. I left the Schmoedown fan group on
It was about 2
Facebook.
weeks between the match and the taping.
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks. So I am a competitor.
You were going to quit the league that night.
I was going to quit.
So
I was
done.
I was done with the league. I was going to quit after my Merle match. I was like going to walk away from the whole thing. I was so upset, and that's why I said it's because of the fans. Is the reason that I stayed. So what happened was, I knew after a few days, it was about a week. I knew after a week, but I knew immediately, obviously, like within the next 24 hours, that I couldn't obviously quit. I love the Schmoedown, but I knew within a week, I was like, I need to really get my head out of my ass, get over the loss that I'm super bummed about, and I've got a singles career to start here. Like, I came out in the free-for-all, and I pulled a Riley. I went 2 of 5, and I got eliminated immediately.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, I believe that's what that's called. And I was just like, you know what? And people think I'm a joke. People think I'm a joke in the league. It's like not. It's not like a secret. It's a thing that's thrown around a lot. You carry Team Action. You're the better 2 players. Like, you know, get carried. I'm a choke artist. Like all the things that are said out there.
The fans are brutal.
They really are.
They
really are brutal. And like
they want to treat. They really, I would say us, but you want to treat you like dirt. When we lose a match, they want to really just put their nuts on your forehead.
Oh, they like to go hard in the paint.
And sweat.
Just ball sweat everywhere. And so it's interesting though, because like you said, it's like even you didn't truly believe I could beat him, you know?
Well, what I would say about you, and this is what I truly believe, is that I know based on performances I've seen you have, or like things I know you know, that there's a sequence of questions that can happen in a category in round 2 that you could do like what I did against Mance. You could have a 12 or 15 like it's not like that can't happen. It's more like if I'm a betting man, based on like the pockets of knowledge that you don't know, it's hard to be like, against the greatest player that's played Schmoedown, we're going to assume you're going to have your best day and he's going to have his worst day.
Well, and it's interesting because, like, you know, Dan didn't have his worst day, but I just had my best, and it kind of put me in a position. That's the one thing about the Schmoedown is when you're really rolling in the Schmoedown, you know, if you get, let's say you do go 9 of 9 in round 1, and then they go first and get opponent's choice, all of a sudden, you're almost in a place where you can't really lose.
Yeah.
It's only if you completely blow your round 2. But even so, let's say you're in that point where it's like you've had a great round 1, they get opponent's choice, you have a decent round 2. You're almost you're not in a losable position.
Right.
So that's a very interesting point of Schmoedown. It's not really one that I'm used to being in.
Well, yeah. So I guess let's get to the match. So day of, you know, obviously you've been studying, you've been doing, and people, you guys that are watching this, you're the Army, so you know this. You're in our corner, you support us, but Drew studies like crazy. I study like crazy. I have a different methodology.
Yeah.
Drew doesn't like not study. Like, people are like, oh, he better get some studying. It's like every time we have a match, weeks before the match, it's like movies, looking stuff up. Like,
I don't even watch movies I haven't seen before anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I love to watch movies that I love over and over again. I don't do it anymore.
You're saying you only watch movies you haven't seen before.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I mean. Yeah, I only watch movies I haven't seen before now. That's it. And I read about them, and I research them, I look up at their directors, I look up at the directors of what else they've directed. It's like, it's changed movie watching for us.
Here's a question for you. This is not directly Dan related, but I'm just curious. So there's movies you've seen and there's movies you know you should watch.
Yeah.
But when it comes to movies that you haven't seen that you justify watching, what's the genre that you go into to like, oh, I've never seen this and has actors ever. I'll watch this. This will be good for me.
I think the number one genre is thriller.
Me too.
That's the one I go to. I've watched in the last few days. I've watched Taking Lives. I've watched The Game. I've watched The Negotiator. And I've watched something else too, like something really great.
Me too. I've watched in the last 6 months that I haven't seen. I watched
good thrillers.
Absolute Power. True Crime.
The Fincher movie. The early Fincher movie. Why can't I think of it right
Panic
now?
Room.
No.
The Game. You just said.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Game.
Yeah. True Crime. Absolute Power. I watched Double Jeopardy.
Oh, Double Jeopardy.
I watched Along Came a Spider.
Double Jeopardy.
I watched Kiss the Girls. I watched The Bone Collector.
Wow. I watched The Bone Collector too.
Yeah.
Yeah. If for some reason it's just the most palatable genre.
I think it's just something about the fact that it's very procedural and it's like murder, mystery, sweet male actor that I like a lot who's put in position to save
around
the day.
Too. Yeah.
They always have one. It's Tommy Lee or it's Morgan Freeman. Like, you're just
Michael Douglas. Yeah, so going into the match that day, I'll be honest, man. Walking around the place, every single person at Collision was basically just like kind of rubbing it in my face.
We're like, yeah, you got this.
No, like no one.
They're like, you're going to lose.
Everyone's like, you're going to put on a great show. You're going to have a good time. Can't wait to see the match you put on. It's going to be really entertaining. Like, no, I'd be like, I'm gonna beat Dan.
What about
Morrill.
even like your people that like you're friends with, like Sturger?
all of
was she in
it.
your corner?
Sturger was in my corner, I think.
Enough.
I think she believed enough and wanted anarchy.
She wanted
enough.
to win.
Yeah. Jay Washington said this. He was like, just go in there and do what you do. He's like, go in there and do what you do.
PJ Campbell?
And PJ. No, Jay Washington and PJ, yeah. But even PJ was like, I love Dan Murrell. You know, Dale the Dude's a huge, good buddy of ours. And he's like, look, man, I love you and Ben, but I want you to lose today. You know?
So this was Saturday when this happened.
Yeah.
So I'm at the tournament. I'm in Vegas. I'm doing my thing. And, you know, again, I mentioned this a second ago, but a lot of you guys probably don't know this. Magic the Gathering is it's the biggest media portion of my life. So I was sick at a tournament and at convention and very wrapped up in it. And it was around 4 o'clock. I'd been playing games all day. I was mid-tournament. I was still alive to win some money. And I got a text, an Instagram message from Dale the Dude.
Yeah.
And he said, your boy just TKO'd Murrell.
Your boy just TKO'd Murrell.
That was literally, it was from Dale the Dude. And I looked at it and I was sort of like, no. I'm going to be totally real with you guys. Like, I had a whole range of emotions here. My first thought was like, this is Dale the Dude's fucking with me. I was like, he's probably messing with me. I was like, the second thing was like, how have I not heard from Drew, but I've heard from Dale the Dude? I was like, if you really TKO'd Murrell, like that seems crazy to me. Now, of course, I got a call from you within the next 3 minutes.
Yeah. From Dale the Dude's phone. And I tried to FaceTime
And the third thought was sheer and utter panic. Because I have a man's match coming up at that point.
Right.
I'm 1-2.
Right, and now the joke of the team.
I'm like, if I lose the man's match and he's really beating Murrell, I was like, there's no coming back from that. Right. I'm done. I'm never going to be, like, my career's over. Drew, it doesn't even matter if Drew never wins another match.
I don't even have to play singles ever again.
I was like, he didn't, if he TKO'd Murrell, I was like, I did nothing. There's nothing I've ever done in Schmoedown that's even remotely, I can't do it. I can't even. So then, of course, I get the call from you, and it was bad service. The call was dropped frustratingly 3 times in a row before I actually heard you say, I fucking did it.
I
TKO'd Murrell. And the disbelief on your voice was the same. It was disbelief.
It was utter disbelief.
Yeah.
There's no, He's never been TKO'd. He's only lost twice ever before this match.
Even now, he's still arguably the greatest of all time. Watching the kind of pulls that he is Tom Brady in the Schmoedown. Like his...
Yeah, I mean, he's a set. I mean, he still only missed 3 questions the whole day.
Really?
3 or 4?
Prior to the round 3.
Well, he missed 1 question in round 3. I think I stole 2 in round 2, and he missed 1 in round 1.
So 4 then.
Yeah.
This is 4. Yeah, so he has
Or 2 in round 1, so 5, yeah.
Yeah. So he has like instead of an 80% day, he has like a 65% day.
Yeah, I mean, he misses 5 questions on the day or whatever it is. He goes 6 of 8 in round 1, and he gets one that I miss. I have my best round 1 ever.
Yeah.
I go 7 of 8 in round 1, and I miss... Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy came out in 2012, right?
No, it didn't.
Did it not?
I don't think it's the same year.
What year Dark Knight Rises come
12.
out? I think it is the same year.
Is it the same year?
I can't remember how they worded the question, but it might have been in 2012. I think it was in 2012. Gary Oldman was nominated for supporting actor.
Okay, so 2012 then. Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. And I said, I knew it wasn't Dark Knight Rises because I just know.
You just couldn't get there. It was the best.
I just couldn't get there. It was the best guess, and
insert,
and it was the same year, and I knew that wasn't right either. But maybe somehow I missed it, and he had it, and I was like, this is why the guy's the best. Like I'm having my best day, and Ellis early on he makes comment. I think we're tied at 2, and he's like. I make a comment. He's like, "Oh, Andrew Guy throwing jabs while he's still in the game," and in my mind, I'm just like, "Yeah, this is all gonna come back and bite me in the ass."
So, all right. So talk to me. You have your round 1, and you have a better round 1 than he does.
I have a better round 1 than I've ever had.
I think he goes 6. Is that right?
He goes 6, and I go 7.
Right. Okay. So now you get to round 2. Did you spin first or second?
I like to play from behind.
Yeah. Solid.
Yeah.
Always.
So he spins. I think he spins Pixar.
It's comedy, I thought.
No, so I think he spins Pixar first, and then he respins and he gets opponents.
Oh, there you go.
And I give him romance.
You give him romance.
I give him romance, not rom-coms, and not Pixar, and not sports movies, which is on the wheel, which he lost.
It's a bad category for him.
I mean, he lost to Christian with that category.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I decided to go romance, and it was.
I mean, to be totally fair, and also something to point out to the fans, you and I had a conversation about a week before this. But where do we think your strengths and Merle's weaknesses lie? Like, where do we think, if your day goes right and you get to pick a category or opponent's choice, what do we think are the categories that you have the best shot?
And we guessed a couple a director or a movie category or 2, but we said probably romance and Pixar.
Because I said to you, I was like, you grew up with, sisters and a mom watching a lot of rom-coms and romance movies. Those were like the kind of movies that you got shown. Obviously, I got shown Memento and Gladiator, but like you got shown like a bunch of sweet, like, America's Sweethearts and
G.I. Jane was one of them, which is like the closest thing to an action movie, but still kind of a romance.
Yeah, and like, so it was kind of like, given the opportunity, that seems like a category that would probably be not bad for Merle, but like, he's a dude's dude. He likes the movies that we all like, the Finchers and the Nolans and the Star Warses and things.
Yeah, and there was like a couple moments where, I didn't think Merle played the game to the best of his ability. I think he was
a little rusty, maybe?
Slightly rusty in the sense of like using JTEs and maybe going multiple choice or not when regardless of, I end up stealing a couple of his answers and coming out on top at the end of his round 2, and I haven't spun yet. And this is, again, like I still am kind of in shock. Like the questions that he gets asked that I think I know, and forgive me, I think one of them is the water for elephants question, which
Christoph Waltz, or?
Yeah, I just think it's hilarious because it's like, who knows that Christoph Waltz is in and Reese Witherspoon are in Water for Elephants together, but it was because I loved A Far Off Place when I was a kid, which is this random Reese Witherspoon movie. Yeah. And I recently looked up Christoph Waltz because of something to do with Spectre or something. I don't remember what it was, but I looked at his whole filmography, and so...
You haven't seen it? You've never seen Water for
Elephants?
Never seen it. But you knew it?
Yeah. I think I've only seen 1,000 Ways to Die in the West once, maybe, but I knew the shepherd question because of the box cover. He's like holding a sheep on it or something.
I saw Water for Elephants in theaters with my ex-girlfriend. We brought a bottle of wine into the theater, and we drank the whole thing in the theater. And by the end of it, it's a very romantic and sad movie. She was like hysterically crying, like embarrassingly so,
right.
to the point that it was like, It was like,
He's like, come on, get it together.
you're drunk. Like, it's not that sad. It's just, come on.
We like to cry in sad movies. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah, anyway.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so then I go and I spin comedies. And I just stick with it. I like comedies.
This is funny, again, guys. Like, so much of this is like destiny, because we had talked about categories that are strong, and you had said comedy's one of my strongest. And I said, no, that's... Nobody's strong in comedy.
So broad.
It's so broad. You can't know every question. You said, I mean, I just think it's a good category for me. And so you take it and...
And I ended up going 3 for 4, and I only missed, I believe, one that I go multiple choice with. And this is a part where I take a hit at Dan's gameplay. My question is asked, and he goes... And I go, well, I don't know the answer, but I know he does, so I'm going to go multiple choice. And it's, again, if I wasn't a heel, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I would just go multiple choice. But since I'm a heel, I got to dig. I got to make you aware of every mistake that you make.
Yeah, so
always.
One thing we haven't mentioned yet.
Is this like getting in his head?
Yeah, well, I've seen the behind-the-scenes videos. Your confidence in this match is kind of like otherworldly. It's like, it's beyond anything I've ever seen from you.
Yeah, same.
It's like, you just sort of like, I'm going to put my dick on the table.
Yeah.
And even if it's shriveled and cold and tiny, it doesn't
it's
matter.
on the table.
And I'm doing it.
Exactly.
And unless you fucking do the same thing, only one of us has their dick on the table.
Well, dude, I was by myself. You were, 600 miles away. No one thought I was going to win. Not even my friends thought I was going to win.
Yeah.
He had his whole team there other than Riley. There was literally 100 people in the room against one.
Yeah.
So, like...
Roka's just shaking a shake weight.
Yeah, he's
hard.
just shake weight the whole time while drinking a fucking shaker at the same time. Just screaming at me.
Jacked for him.
So, like, I came out and I was like, I'm just going to be the most confident I've ever been, and I'm never going to let it go. I'm never going to let it go no matter what. No matter what.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to.
You guys, I mean, you've seen this, but I hope these behind-the-scenes videos get out, because it's... So, all right, so in... So you have a really good round 2.
Oh, I have a great round 2. And then we go into round 3.
So walk me through where your head's at now as you go into round 3.
So this is where I'm at. I mean, I am on cloud 9, and I can tell you so because I go... we're about to go into round 3, and I go, I'm so hard right now. And the audience, like, everyone died. And I just see Christian just go, oh, my fucking God. Hands in the face.
Because he's obviously, Christian, I mean, Merle's Christian's guy. He wants to see Merle get this win, of course.
No one can believe what's going on. There's, like, the room, it's almost like when you went to watch A Quiet Place in theaters.
Yeah.
It's silent.
Silent. People have described it to me as it was like a funeral.
It was like a fucking funeral, man. It was silent in there, and like, I'm having the best day of my life. I'm having the best game of my life.
It's silent, and you're just full.
I am just like fully, the table's lifted. Like,
do you think that this is one of the great memories or moments so far in your life? Like,
oh, absolutely. I mean, Christian told me that the live event was my Mona Lisa.
Right.
I text him after. I go, the next day I said, if the live event was my Mona Lisa, I don't know what to call this. And he goes, you topped it, man. I don't know how the fuck you did it, but you topped it. And so everyone's just speechless, and I'm going into round 3. I'm just like, I have to miss all of my questions, and he has to hit all of his for me to lose.
The disparity was that great at that point?
Yeah.
It was a 10-point disparity?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was like 8 points.
Maybe?
10 or 8. Yeah.
So who goes first?
Well, I TKO'd him.
Right. Oh, you don't.
So
even
I don't even play. So I go. I get to pick my numbers first. I go 3, 7, and 17 as our numbers, and I go, wait, excuse me, 4, 7, and 17, because my sister Leslie's favorite number is 4.
Okay.
My favorite number is 7. My sister Julie and Sandra are born 15th and the 16th, so 17 works perfectly.
Got it.
So Dan picks his numbers, and he does well. I mean, the first question is who are two of the FBI agents in the Untouchables or something like that.
Right, that's a
reasonably
reasonably
Connery
easy
and Costner, and I scoff or whatever, but in my mind I'm still like, wait, really quickly, I'm just doing my thing.
You quizzed me on that one after, and I was like, the same 2 answers.
Yeah.
It took me a quick second. Yeah.
Yeah, so then he gets his next question, which is comedies or something like that, and he goes, what happens to
The
Pam's sister in Meet the Parents, and you got that right as well. She gets hit in the face with a volleyball, bloody nose, blah blah blah. So we get to the next question, and it's dramas or something like that, or famous actors and actresses. I can't remember exactly, and it's Tom Hardy plays a disgraced Russian espionage agent in this movie about child trafficking, and like
You
my
knew right
feet
away.
go up on the table.
When they asked the question.
I think it's when the question's getting asked. Because I look over at him and
You can see fear.
well, it's not fear, but you know how it is when as soon as a question gets asked. I mean, you and I have sunglasses on, so it's hard to tell. But if I ask you a question, you and I usually there's like a thing that you do. There's like a certain motion where your brain's like, I got to go to this section of my brain. I got to go to section 9 of my brain, column 6.
It's 3 levels. It's either I absolutely know it.
Yeah.
Millisecond later, here's the answer. It's I think I know it, or I might know it. It's going to take me a second, but I'm going to get there. Or it's I absolutely don't know it, and I'm never getting there.
Yeah. And I thought he was at level 2, right? And then Roker goes, don't forget your repeats. And Dan's like, yeah, fucking Roker.
With that fucking shake weight.
God, he's just sitting there holding it, drinking his Capri Sun. And you know, Merle's like, repeat. I can see his body language. He's annoyed.
Yeah, of course.
He's very annoyed.
He knows he's gonna lose.
He knows he's gonna lose, and full disclosure, I would hate to lose to me. I've got my feet up on the fucking table. I've got Cane Boy coming back and forth. I'm like just throwing jabs all throughout the match.
You had the wolf cane.
Oh, I had the wolf. I have the wolf cane, man, and I had Alex bring it to me when I went to go spin the wheel. It was amazing.
Big shout out to Alex Marzoni, who
Yeah,
I love.
I love
He's
Alex.
a very good sport with all this stuff.
He is amazing. I was like, before the match, I was like, hey, Alex, I'm so sorry, but can you be can you get my cane? He's like, what? I was like, I'm gonna yell Cane Boy, and I want you to come and get my cane. He's like, yeah, sure. So anyway, so I can see Dan. So he's like, yeah, and he's like, so they repeat the question, and he's like, I got one more, right? And he's like, get me. He's like, hit me with it. And he knocks over his water, and I go, oh shit! And at that point, I just kind of feel bad.
In the behind the scenes video, when I see him knock over the water, it's actually it makes me a little uncomfortable.
It's a little sad.
It's a little sad.
Yeah, I know. Brienne, who's taking it, she said the same thing, and I don't know why, but it is.
I don't know if it's something about like the fact that
It's. I mean, my feet are up on the table, and like he's like it's
just like something about like it's like the I don't know, it's like the girl breaks up with the guy, and as he's like trying to get his things to leave the room, he like drops his books.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're just like,
come
just
on.
leave him and leave him.
Yeah,
Just walk
leave
out of
the
the room
guy,
or something.
leave him alone.
I don't know what it is, but when I watch it, and I haven't even seen the real match, obviously, because I haven't aired yet, but like, that moment is like, oh, wow, this is going to end this way.
Well, because he's our hero. He's all of our heroes.
Merle is the guy that it's like if you imagine yourself playing in a tournament with a teammate, you're like, I can't lose if Dan Merle's
Merle's my teammate. He's unflappable. He's 100. Yeah, he's reliable. He's consistent. Yeah. So he says, "Hit me with it again." And in that moment, I lean back and I look up, and in my mind, I already know I've known it's Child 44. The moment I hear Tom Hardy and Russian Agent, I just know.
I think you and I both, because we have a crush on Tom Hardy.
That's what I told everyone, because honestly, it was one of those questions, because a lot of times what will happen is a 5-point question will go out, and after the match is over, all of us competitors will talk about it.
Yeah, right.
The 2, 3, and the 5 usually, and be like, oh man, that was a deep cut, or I didn't know that, or that was so easy. Almost no one knew that. Like, no one.
The only reason that's a 5-point question, because like what I say a lot is, if it's a cast member question, a lead cast member question on a movie, and it's a 5-pointer, it had better be a pretty obscure movie. Because like 5-pointers are not supposed to be who was the lead in
Bronson.
That's like not a fair question, because
Have
if
you
you've ever
seen
heard of the movie,
Yeah.
you know the answer.
Have you seen Child 44?
No, but I remember the
same.
trailer. I remember it coming out. I remember like thinking it was the same year, I think, as what's it called, Fury Road. We did an episode on our show that's got almost 2 million views now. So I really believe that a 5-point question needs to be more interesting than just like, here's a movie, who was in that movie? But like, if the movie's obscure enough, like Child 44,
right? Like it couldn't have been like Bronson, or it couldn't have been like. I mean, it could have maybe been Locke, but Bronson would have been like too well known.
Locke is reasonably similar to Child 44.
Yeah.
I guess the difference is that like Locke is heralded for its acting. And it's like interesting to people because it's like he's on a phone in a car the whole movie.
Yeah.
Whereas like Child 44 is just like kind of an irrelevant like thriller.
Just
and it
missed.
stars Tom Hardy. Just like nothing happened. Like that movie could have barely even hit theaters. No one would have cared.
But I knew it immediately.
Because we both have a crush on Tom
Because
Hardy.
we have a crush on Tom Hardy. That's why it's so hard to gauge what truly makes a 5-pointer a 5-pointer. Now, in my mind, is that a 5-pointer? Maybe. I guess it's more of a 3 in my mind, but that's a tough question. Dan Murrell didn't know it.
It's a reasonable 5, and people missed it. You know,
Everyone missed it. Everyone there missed it.
Yeah, you talk to people after the match.
Yeah.
You missed them. Yeah. So the match ends, right? You get your win, and it's a.
I just can't believe it.
You're euphoric at that point.
Yeah, man. The audience is silent when I win. No one can believe it. Christian and Mark can't believe it. Dan can't believe it.
Did he? He didn't shake your hand, right?
Dan did not shake my hand after the match. He was
not in like an asshole way. He just was pissed.
He was just pissed. So as soon as the match is done, as soon as Dan says, I don't know, Bronson, I think is what he says. I go, Child 44, and then and you're a winner, and I turn, and I jump up on the back. You know, I love to jump on the back. I'm like, my fucking leg. So, and then after 10 seconds that I get down, I'm like, honestly, I go to shake his hand. I've never went to go shake anyone's hand after a match.
Ever.
You know that. I don't do that.
Yeah.
It's not my thing.
Yeah.
And he snubs me. And he leaves and I go and I do the cane hump. I'm like, I wouldn't shake it either.
Which is from the behind the scenes is just one of the we talk about in Glengarry Glen Ross in the speech when Alec Baldwin's it takes to sell real estate. Takes brass balls and it shows the balls, and then it cuts to Jack Lemmon's face, this old guy, and he's like, ugh. That's when I saw your clip, I was like, ugh. This is humiliating.
Oh yeah, man. I couldn't believe it. I truly couldn't believe that it was all said and done at that moment. The match was going my way the whole time, round 1, round 2, and I didn't even have to plan round 3, but I just couldn't believe it.
So I talked to you shortly thereafter. Mm-hmm. You're outside. We were chatting. You were telling me kind of how it all went. And then you had to hang up because Merle was walking up, right? Yeah.
So, full disclosure, Merle was upset after the match. He felt like he'd been a little bit set up by the league.
Well, he had. He'd been led into it by the league, the storyline, by Christian. Not because he knew he was going to lose, obviously.
Well, because you look at me as a player. I'm not a guy that goes 7 of 8 in round 1, that steals 2 of 4 in round 2. It's just, that's not me. And so he's upset. He's very upset. He feels like his legacy's been tarnished. He feels like he's been set up, all these things. And
once again, as you said, you would too.
I would too.
He'd hate to lose to you.
I would hate to lose to me, and he's a competitor, and he's the best. He is the best of the best. And so, that's right after the match happens. This moment when he's coming out is maybe 20 to 30 minutes later.
Yeah.
And we bump into each other, and you know what? He's exactly what a champion is supposed to be. He is just the kindest, coolest, nicest dude. He's like, hey, I'm so sorry about in there. That's not the guy that I am. I was just upset. It's like, look, man, I'm a huge fan. I'm a Dan Murrell fan. I've always been a Dan Murrell fan. Yeah. This is an honor for me to even play you. And he's like, yeah, man, the game's changed, And even before the match, we were going to film a promo, and we're walking over, and he's like, man, things are different now. And I go, yeah, man, you're in my world now. I was like, I'm just kidding. He's like, yeah, he's like, it's crazy. You used to just show up before the match, answer questions, and leave. He's like, now there's this whole thing. There's the pre-match, or the pre-game, the post-game. There's these, these clips that we're doing, and the drama during the match. He's like, it's worlds apart.
Well, I think that's one thing and again, just sort of talking to everybody involved and seeing the behind the scenes, hearing it from you, it really does seem like he wasn't prepared for the sort of full character aspect that I really believe that Team Action brought that to the league. That's something that we added. I don't think the league had that before us, and I think that you have sort of gone and taken that flavor and just steroided the fuck out of it.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it is. I agree, man. I think it was something that they really wanted in the league, and I think it was something that Roca had kind of flirted with.
Right.
And kind of brought a little bit into the league, but he'd never really gone pedal to the metal like you and I had. And Christian said that when we joined the league. He's like, I want you guys to be the worst of the worst, the douchiest of the douchey bad guys. Because that's not what I wanted. I remember because I was kind of like I didn't even really know, but I wanted to do it. And you're like, well, Christian wants this, and I was like, okay, I kind of have an idea. And he's like, well, no, he wants us to be this way. And I was like, all right, I guess we have to be that way because it's it's not our league. We don't make the calls, but I can't imagine what it was like for him to come back into the league, see it change as much as it had, and then to play against someone who was honestly the epitome and the embodiment of why storyline should trump talent.
You were basically just drinking Four Loko at the desk.
I was actually drinking tequila and soda.
It's actually pretty impressive that you were drinking during the match and had as good a match as you did.
I needed to... I before the match, I was just like, what do I have to lose? I usually don't drink before matches, and I was just like, why? I mean, I didn't get drunk. I had like a drink during the match, but like I needed
not after the match.
Yeah, not after the match. I got there. But yeah, man, it was the craziest thing. It's like that thing in all the movies and on TV where you talk. I mean, like Tim Duncan talking to LeBron after the first time they played each other in the finals, where he's like, good job, kid. I'm sure we'll see you here again soon. And the next time you saw him there, LeBron beat San Antonio. It's like it was like one of those moments where it's like I was playing against the guy that when I used to watch this as a fan was indestructible.
Right. And you're playing against the Drago.
This is Drago. I was just gonna say this is Drago. This is Koba. This is the you're not gonna win. And like I said,
almost more like I would say less like Drago, because Merle's an evil. He was just unbeatable. He was more like Koba. He was Koba and Warrior, and you showed up and you had. Let's watch Warrior tonight. We should watch Warrior.
I'm so down.
I am stoked. I don't know who your next match is going to be against. I think maybe you and I have a pretty decent idea.
I think so. It's interesting now based off with you playing Roka and however that match goes and whoever I play, you and I might actually play each other before the championship, which would be crazy.
There's a little bit, there's some build up with that. Like there's a chance you and I could play each other. So there's funny, when we got into the league.
I don't want to play you as a number one contenders match. That just seems...
Yeah. Well, hey, look, you beat Merle, so like what's...
No, I mean, it's not because it's just bad for our friendship.
When I got into the league, one of the things Christian sent me after we had played like 4 or 5 matches, right in the the golden era of team action,
right in the middle of the run,
the tournament last year. Which like truly, if you guys have watched or listened, like I think we both kind of feel like that was the tournament last year was sort of the golden moment. It was like
just crazy. Like we just kept winning,
and even the way we beat top 10, it just was it was great. But anyway, during that time, I remember talking to Christian that I really was admiring Shawn Michaels' career as a wrestler. I was watching a lot of Shawn Michaels stuff.
Heartbreak Kid.
He sent me this clip of when Michaels was on the Rockers and when he throat kicks that other dude, and he kicks him through like a fucking window or something, and the Rockers break up. Michael goes solo. And ever since he's shown me that, I was like, is there going to be the team action moment where one of us does that? One of us kicks the other through the glass window, and like it's the end. And so I wonder, like, if there, I don't know, because like obviously this is really behind the curtain stuff here.
we don't actually know.
But like as it stands now, Team Action is an unbreakable unit. We're not gonna we don't want a manager, we don't want a third member. We're gonna keep doing our thing.
We are just Ben and Drew.
We want to win, and you guys know we're buddies. So like we want to win, but like God, we want to win. Obviously,
and coming off these 2 wins, the way that we won, it just. You know that all the people, even the doubters, have nothing to say about either of us right now.
Storylines are building, and like, and that's the thing. Is like, when a storyline starts to build, there's only so much you can do, as evidenced by your promo after the live event. Like you were pissed, so it was an angry promo. Like, obviously, we're both gonna get this win. I'm gonna play Roka, which is a big piece of my story.
You're gonna kick his ass.
I'm gonna grind him in dust. And if we both win these next 2 matches, which we don't necessarily know who you're going to play yet, I mean that'd be insane. It'd be to end season 5. I guess we're in season 5.
Here's what needs to happen. Okay. I need to win the belt because I need to beat I need to somehow fast track my way to the title because I beat Dan Murrell already. That should count as 3 wins.
That should count as all.
I've already beaten him twice, so that should actually count as 4 wins.
Yeah.
So then I beat one more person, maybe 2, and then I take the belt from Sam Levine. You take the belt from me, or you try to take the belt from me, and whether you win or lose, that's when it goes down.
So I think you guys can sense we're getting to the end of the Dan Murrell reaction. We're starting to really.
Could you imagine you and me in a cage match for the belt? We would have to do it at the top of like Yakamoto Towers. Nakatomi Towers.
Is that her reference?
Can we edit that out? Nakatomi Towers. You and I on top battling to the death.
Right. I'm in. I mean, only if the situation calls for it. If we're in a number 1 contender match, so be it. So I think that pretty much wraps up the reaction to Murrell. Obviously, This was one of the crazier moments ever. I was pretty ecstatic to find out, and I think it pretty much wraps up.
I was like riding Cloud 9 for like days.
Because it was filmed weeks ago.
Yeah, and like the fact that I haven't been able to tell anyone. I couldn't tell anyone for over a month.
When we went to like screenings and stuff, and we were in public, and you were talking, I'd be like, dude, you gotta.
I'm just dying.
There's
I'm
a
like
lot of people that watch it.
I'm like Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Talking about anything in Avengers.
Anything at all.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We appreciate all the support. If you have gotten all the way to the end of this, is your first video for $1. Stay tuned. We're gonna probably do something like this for every single match that either of us or both of us play in.
Yeah.
So if you pay $12 a year, you will get access to every one of those, plus movie reviews and other awesome stuff. We have a show called Action Movie Anatomy on the Popcorn Talk Network that we review an action movie every week. We've done that for a long time, and we work really hard. We would love to continue to have your guys' support. So thank you so much for watching and hearing the story. And be sure to tweet at us. You can find me at Ben Baby Media.
Yeah, and you guys can find me at Andrew Guy. And for all those patrons out there, Ben and I are not completely set on the content that we'll make. Like for anyone on the Patreon, any subscribers, any patron, please let us know what else you'd like to see. We love doing the top 5 lists. We love the Schmoedown reactions. We would love to do anything that you guys like. Just let us know. Again, that's patreon.com Team Action. You can find me at Andrew Guy. And guys, hey, cheers to you, brother.
It was a good couple weeks.
It was a good couple weeks.
We salute
you guys.